Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolessence. Thank you so much for tuning in, much appreciated. I have my good friend Carlos joining me.
How are you, everyone?
And in today's video, we're going to do a comparison of nearly all of the Acqua Di Gio fragrances and their associated flankers, so stay tuned. What I want to do in this video is I want to take a close look at the original Acqua Di Gio, which came out in 1996, and all of the associated flankers. And I want to see if maybe we can, if you're watching this as a consumer, we want to let you know what are the differences among all of them, because I know that I personally, had I not sampled them all thoroughly, I could certainly get overwhelmed. Like, do I want the original, the Essenza, and presumably some of these are still around. I know definitely Profumo is still around.
Yeah.
So, we'll save our favorites for the end.
Cool.
But which ones, obviously, all of these are in your collection.
Yeah.
So, how did you go about acquiring them? And
well, I didn't buy the fragrance when it was first out. I think I got it a few years later. After smelling it on everyone, it smells so great. I was attracted to the aroma or the scent profile of the Acqua Di Gio. And I finally got a bottle, this one here. And then I started reviewing and collecting, and
sure,
I bought them whether I like them or not, because that's what we're here to do, is to provide a service to guide people as to which ones are good, which ones are not. Of course, in our opinion.
Of course, it's always our opinion.
But we have to do the good with the bad. So
yeah, that's a very good point.
Out of all of these, the least one I like is this one.
Oh wow, okay. So the original has more of like a citrusy lime, sort of jasmine feel about it. It definitely has an aquatic presence, if the name didn't give that away already. Acqua Di Gio.
It's a clean smell. It's
very clean.
Just clean and very crisp, I find.
Yeah, so I live in New Jersey and I'm in Hoboken, New Jersey all the time. I can't tell you how many young men I've smelled walking on the street and they happen to be wearing the original. And so, classic fragrance, it's been out, like I said, for more than 20 years. But it's one that's tried and true, like people still wear it. And to be honest with you, I personally don't find it dated.
I don't either.
Yeah, I think it still smells quite modern, quite contemporary, although I do think that there are a lot of better options out there for you.
We've come a long way since this first came out.
Yeah.
Even the genre of clean, simple has come a long way since.
Oh my goodness, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So now we're moving on to Essenza. I found Essenza to be a little, believe it or not, a little heavier than the original in terms of the balance of the different ingredients. Like maybe it's not as clean and wispy as the original.
Okay.
And I did find that they amplified some of the oceanic aspects of it, but not in an ultra pleasant way. And so if I were to choose between the original and the Essenza, I think I personally would choose the original. Yeah, and that's been my experience with that. So once again, thank you, Joe, for sharing it with us. Much appreciated. So what about Essenza? Do you like it as much as the original, or?
It's okay.
Yeah, sometimes the differences I've noticed can be a bit negligible, and so in the air, they're both going to smell the same.
Exactly. The Profumo,
yeah,
we got some incense into the composition, and patchouli, but it still has that clean, crisp, well-dressed man thing going on, with a little bit of personality from the incense and the patchouli.
Yeah,
a tad darker.
Yeah, and I think that's the best way to describe it. It's actually a darker iteration of the original. It does have the incense, it does have the patchouli, it's a little heavier. I guess if you want to wear the original in the daytime or in the summertime, this is one that you can afford to wear when it gets a little colder outside or in the nighttime.
This one I wore to work one time, and Brooke, she said, "You smell like my ex-boyfriend." This one.
That's not good. So seems like all Acqua Di Gio fragrances will make you smell like somebody's ex-boyfriend. So there's Profumo, and then there's Profumo Special Blend,
which you have and smells fantastic on you, brother.
Why, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Smells awesome on you.
Yeah, and would you argue that it smells exactly the same as Profumo?
I did it side by side, and to me they seem the same. Some people say that there is a difference, but to me it wasn't enough of a difference to warrant a purchase of both, either one or the other, in my opinion.
In my opinion as well, they smell quite similar. If there is a difference in there, I personally can't pick up on it. I know according to what's being said online, the special blend version utilizes real patchouli, or natural patchouli rather, whereas the one that's used in this here, we're left to believe is synthetic. But I wear the special blend. I really enjoy the special blend, and so far, of all of these, of the ones that we've discussed so far, Profumo is my favorite. Yeah. And then, last year in 2018, we've been bestowed with this beauty, right?
We got bestowed with Invictus Acqua in a
pretty
Giorgio
much.
Armani Acqua Di Gio Absolu bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly, but it's in that type of ultra sweet, kind of loud fragrance.
Yeah, exactly. This is one where if somebody has an affinity for the original or any of the other flankers, this is one I would not recommend for them to check out.
Nope.
It smells nothing like Acqua Di Gio. I personally find it to be a bit of like a rehashed version of Invictus Acqua or those Invictus-y type scents with the clean tonka bean.
But there was a time when we both loved those.
No, I really do. I think they're very practical. I think they're very wearable. They're compliment magnets. And so if that is your purpose, obviously, like, please, by all means, wear it. But if you're a fan of the lineup, I think this one is a strong deviation. Oh,
it sticks out like a sore thumb. It really has nothing in common. It's like the Black Sheep Brother or something.
Yeah. I know, and so it's kind of funny that they took it in that direction, but as I mentioned in the review that you and I did on this one, I do think that they were trying to cater towards a particular crowd with that one, and so they weren't really too focused on creating a different iteration of Acqua Di Gio.
So the flanker of a flanker, Absolu, this is Absolute Instinct, at a word, we have a new flanker, a new creation, actually stays truer to the original DNA than this previous one.
Exactly.
It's citrus, it's oceanic vibe, and then it's a woody dry down. So a citrus, aquatic, woody.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. I think this one is quite similar to Profumo. I think I get that patchouli note that is similar between them two. I do get a little, like a touch of like an oceanic vibe. I don't get a whole lot of citrus, but to me, this is a sweeter version of this. So it's almost like they went a very sweet direction with this one, and they said, let's scale it back a little bit.
This has a sweetness running through it, but it's a subtle sweetness. It's not bombastic sweetness like this one here, I don't think. Or at least on my skin, it wasn't.
Yeah, no, I'm totally right. I think with this one, the reason why I probably wouldn't say this is my favorite of the lot is because it does have a little bit of that sweetness in there, but normally when I like sweet fragrances, I want to fully commit, I want to wear a full-blown gourmand, and this one just doesn't do that for me. It almost like flirts with gourmand territory, but it never fully commits. And can we very quickly just run through the performance of each one, if you have like a set thing in mind?
Let's say, how about I give you which one I think works
the worst and the best. Okay.
The worst is the original.
Okay.
And the best is Profumo.
Okay, I was going to say the same thing.
Okay.
All right.
Read my mind, bro.
There you go. Okay, so, all right, so what is your favorite?
Profumo.
Me too. Profumo. Or in my case, special blend.
Can we have a little drama here? Let's disagree or something. What's up?
Okay, I don't know.
We agree. We're on board.
We definitely agree.
Same page.
Yeah, for sure. We didn't plan any of this. It's just kind of going off of our impressions of each one. So the ones that I own, okay, so I actually own everything except for these two. This one I will eventually purchase down the line, I think. And this one I have no desire to purchase because it really doesn't do anything for me. And I think if I were to ever crave wearing this one, I would just wear the original, which kind of does the same thing. And I've had like 3 bottles of it. And I still do have one. So, yeah.
To note, this is one of the best-selling men's fragrances of all time.
Yeah.
The original.
Yeah, for sure. And I do think that the perfumer Alberto Morillas is incredibly talented. I think he really has a legacy here with the Acqua Di Gio line, and obviously, you know, there's the women's rendition, and I don't think the flankers are going to cease anytime soon, but I think with a lot of them, they've gone in really promising directions. So I'm always excited to see what direction they're going to go in future years. So.
And it's just something that's become, so, like when you talk about guys' fragrances, Acqua Di Gio just comes up in the conversation. Oh, I've had a bottle of Acqua Di Gio. I had that.
Exactly.
But even if you're sick of flankers, you're always curious to see what they put out next.
So if you had to pick one, Acqua Di Gio or Armani Code, what would it be?
I like this one.
Acqua Di Gio?
Yeah.
All right, me too. Me too.
I like code Profumo. I have yet to smell the new one that just came out.
Absolu.
Absolu?
Yeah, and the next one will probably be Absolu Instinct.
There you go.
Because they've also had a special blend and a Profumo, and so they're kind of doing the same thing. But all right, so that was it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Carlos, thank you so much for being on my channel. I really appreciate it, man. All right, cool. So I'm going to leave Carlos's information down below. Definitely make sure to go over to his channel, subscribe to him. He has a lot of really, really great content over at his channel. And also, if you are new to this channel and you took something of value from this video, please do consider subscribing. This way, whenever we do release future fragrance-related content, it will get delivered straight to your feed. You never need to worry about missing any of it or having to search up my name. Thanks again for watching. Love you guys. We'll see you next time.
Take care.